How's it going, metalheads? Welcome back to another video. This is yet another album review. This is my 10 for 10 series part 2. If you missed the last one, I'm reviewing 10 albums from April 10th, and I'm putting them out all in one day because there was a lot of awesome music released on April 10th of this year, and I wanted to highlight as much of it as I could. But yeah, anyway, let's keep going. So this video, I'll be reviewing The Grave Remains by Nukem. California thrash act Nukem returned with their second album and the first in 10 years, released among the onslaught of awesome metal on April 10th. This record was highly anticipated for me after I heard their singles. Torture, Murder, Mutilate, and Random Acts of Violence are certified thrash bangers, and as a huge thrash fan, those songs alone shot this album to the top of my anticipation list, and I was not disappointed. Starting off with Dead Draw, which is an intro track of sorts. It includes some war samples and some guitar leads before heading full steam into thrash madness with the song Policies of Hate. They get slower and chuggier later on in the song, which is awesome, and even throwing some pinch harmonics. The guitars on this album sound great with that distinct thrash metal sound we all love. The drums are punchy and cut through the mix very well, and the vocals are vicious as hell. Pure thrash metal rasp vocals out of Steve Brogdon. The dude obviously knows his thrash, as he currently works for Gary Holt as his guitar tech. If you don't know Gary Holt, the main man behind Exodus, also current Slayer guitarist. Super cool guy. So there's that. If you're more of a fan of the Chuck Billies and the early James Hetfields in thrash, as opposed to, the Zetros or the Sean Killians, this album's definitely for you. These vocals will appeal to you. Not a whole lot of high-pitched stuff, just absolutely raspy killer shouts. This record is a thrash masterclass. While it sticks closer to the cookie-cutter thrash sound, Nukem throws in a lot of elements and other things to keep it really interesting while still thrashy as hell. They change speeds a lot on this album, which is one of the ways to keep it interesting and not feel super samey throughout the songs. I think a lot of thrash is either fast all the time or it's not fast enough all the time, and so a mix of the two speeds is a perfect blend for this style of music. The guitar solos on here are shreddy and awesome and perfectly fit this aggressive style of thrash metal. If you were wholly disappointed by the Exodus album this year like I was, and wanted some brutal Bay Area thrash, enter this album. There's some awesome guitar harmonies towards the middle of the album, mainly on the song Unconditional Surrender, and these guys didn't miss a beat. The ferocity after such a long time away is remarkable. If I didn't know this was a 10-year comeback from a hiatus, I wouldn't have known it, because this album sounds amazing. They must have been writing these songs for a while, because I really have no complaints on this one. As I said, this is the top thrash album of the year for me so far, just because these guys do a really great job on this album. I really have no complaints, because, all the elements on here are awesome. They do, like I said, just the classic thrash style very well, while also throwing in their own elements. And all the stuff like pinch harmonics and all that stuff, when you layer on top of thrash metal, I just love it. It's super awesome when bands can throw their own, stuff like that on top of, a certain genre, because while, they don't, do anything crazy on here, it's not like, genre bending or whatever. It doesn't need to be to still be awesome. And I think that's super awesome that bands are still doing that, in this day and age. Not everybody has to do mind-blowing stuff in order to stay relevant. So yeah, great job to Nukem, and congrats on coming back from 10 years away, because this album rips. It really does. It rips. So go check it out if you're into thrash. And like I said, if you're disappointed by the Exodus album, this will fulfill your need for some thrash metal. But anyway, hope you're all doing well. Have a nice day. See ya.